Good morning, everyone. It is time for drawing some comics live. I'm going to be doing this one today. TikTok, you can only see my hands, but here I have my coffee in hand. I don't know what I'm drinking. Rainforest Crunch this morning. So cheers, everyone. I hope you're having a good Friday. This is Comics and Coffee. So just getting started, working on this page. I don't know why it's giving the thumbs up there. I didn't really give a, maybe it sees my, that's really funny. It sees my, my holding of the hand. And it gives a little thumbs up. Weird. So weird. Thanks for tuning in. Going to be drawing this comic today. So stop on by, and if you pop in, say hello in the chat. Have questions about VeeFriends I might be able to answer. Cool. Hey, System of Steph's here. What's up, Steph? Josh Courage. What's up, Josh? Over on X. Got a cold brew going. My coffee's a little warm. Just mildly warm. So I'm going to dive right into this comic because, as you can quite see, it's quite a doozy here. There's quite a lot going on. I'm excited to do this one and work on it today. And of course, comics come back on Monday. The daily strips will be back on Monday morning. Hey, morning, Billy from Twitch. Orion, how are you? Over on X. Thanks for chatting it up this morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Yeah, the comics return on Monday. These road signs need to say some things. So if you have suggestions on what these road signs should say, drop them in the chat. This one's about, career or crossroads in life, like you don't know which way to go. So we've got Decisive Duck in this one. We've got Intuitive Iguana pulling in, ripping in here. Can't wait to draw that one. So this is so good. What's going on TikTok? Hey, how's it going, guys? Morning, Clever Daydreamer. Please remember to drink some water. I got my coffee here. That's technically water, right? There's some coffee in it. This is Comics and Coffee. Yeah, where we're going, we don't need any roads. There's kind of a funny line that's in that panel that's similar to that stuff. Oops, wrong thing. Steph said, where we're going, we don't need any roads. It's a classic meme of the car peeling off the highway. I'm going to try something different here with the VeeFriends logo. It's kind of like bent down the road. Try that. You can see that. And for a lot of this, I'm probably just going to, this is a rough pencil, but I'm just going to get right to inks, I think. Dom over on Twitch, thanks, man. Glad you're enjoying the comics. Glad you're enjoying VeeFriends. Morning streams have gone pretty well this week, so if you're enjoying the morning time, let me know, because I think we'll talk to we discuss with the team on like what's best times. We've gone in the afternoon. I can't really do evenings with these streams, but I could. But can't work 24 hours on this. I could actually, and maybe I do. You'll never know. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into working on this a little bit. So I'm gonna delete that layer that's in the back there. Maybe today I'll talk a little bit about, we're gonna talk about making choices, right? Decisions and whatnot. Got my iPad only view there for you. Appreciate you guys watching. Good morning. Oregon Hike over on TikTok, Jeremy over on TikTok. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey, drop a like or something on your way out. Before you leave, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So just a little bit more. Let's see what that looks like on the other screen. Perfect. Let's turn it a little bit. Some people like to watch and see what my hands are doing on the Procreate app, so I try to make sure that that's all in there. That makes sense. Great. Okay, let's get to it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. I deleted that layer. I'm going to go on to the inks layer and go to black. I've got a panel liner brush here just for ruling out the borders. So I'm going to go ahead and rule out the borders real quick. Draw the borders real fast. I'm very much approaching the comics page, even though I'm drawing on an iPad. I come from the old school drawing, you know, so I'm always approaching it very traditionally. You know, there's some apps that have, you know, things that are doing it for you, but I like to do it this way by hand to keep myself sharp and steady, right? Someone mentioned I have pretty steady hands in the one stream, and I think this is part of a good reason to it's a good reason to do it by hand, just to keep your exercise, your hands moving. And I don't know, I'm just making that up. That's what I think. You can't just let a computer do everything for you. You can sacrifice speed for function of yourself. So I try to keep it going. I'm going to do as much as I can today on this one. Oh, gotta make sure I turn off my theater mode on my watch so that you can't see any top secret meetings that are happening. Sorry, you know, can't show you that stuff. But yeah, and also it gives me a chance to kind of just freelance a little, or freestyle, that's the word I'm looking for. Freestyle a little bit with, like, maybe I'm going to tilt this panel up in perspective, and it'll help lead the eye over into the last panel. And that last panel is pretty epic. So you'll see these finished comics in a few weeks. We're kind of trying to get ahead on the Sundays, and we got some other things going on behind the scenes. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Someone said, Orion over on X said, life has no wrong choices for the sign. Keep that in mind. Morning, Ryan. Congrats on the version 1 gnome. Ryan scored a version 1 gnome the other day. I'm gonna go ahead and start, you know, these roads and whatnot. I can pretty much go straight to inks on. Not really worried about. Change my brush. Let's see if it. No. I keep it those. See, like when it does the auto correcting line, it doesn't want to. It wants to really smooth it out. I don't want that. I want like a little bit more. Organicness to that line. And even though there's a balloon there, so there is a balloon there for sure. If you want to kind of guess what the characters are saying, you can do that. That's a fun thing to do. If you're new to VeeFriends, welcome. VeeFriends is over 280 80 characters with different traits. This comic's going to have decisive duck in it, intuitive iguana, kind of help you make some choices. And really, this is like just made up highway roads with like barriers and maybe roadblocks. You can have some fun with that. I'm going to go ahead and pencil in or ink in the balloon. Let's see here. That. Hope everybody's having a good Friday morning. I'm doing well, thank you. Lola is here. Bunch of names from our drawing club at night. Did a nighttime drawing stream last night for the artist community that I run. Last night was fun. I did a little tour of the office, impromptu. Somebody asked, like, what's on your shelves? And so I was like, oh, let me show you. I just sat there for about an hour doing hanging out. I think it's important for artists to hang out like that, even if it's somewhat virtually. My lines are a little bit not smooth this morning. So I will use that autocorrect a little bit for those balloons. You can see here, there is text that will go in there. I'll adjust that later. Should be able to freehand this car too. Let's just do that. Pretty good at making up cars on the fly here. Morning, good morning, Twitch Hot Tomboy. How are you? Hope everybody's gonna have a great Friday, or maybe you're looking forward to the weekend. Any weekend plans? People ask me what I'm going to do on the weekend, and this is what I'm going to do on the weekend. If it's not drawing VeeFriends, I'm probably going to be drawing something else, or working on the stuff for the drawing club. Probably this weekend I will be working on some VeeFriends stuff, just because I want to get a little bit ahead. It's the quest. A never-ending quest. You know, it's part of the thing that I like the most about daily comic format, or an ongoing comic strip format, is that it's there every day, and it's just, as an artist or a producer of it, I like that it's never ending. It's just always there. The thing that I like to do the most is always there. So, yeah, this car isn't that important. It only shows up in this panel, so I'm going to just freehand it, for a little bit. Make it look cool. Maybe we'll make the license plate say something back here in a little bit. And the finishing touches. Little hatchback or something like that. Ryan has a date with the wife tonight, going bowling. That sounds fun. That's good. Yeah, thanks for hanging out Friday morning. Hopefully you're not just living for the weekends. Hopefully you find something that you enjoy doing. I enjoy art, so drawing every day, no matter what. Or thinking about storytelling. I don't like to just call it content. Think about storytelling a lot. How we tell our stories. to ourselves. I saw Gary posted a new vlog format. That's pretty exciting. I'm wondering like what the output will be from that, if he's going to go back daily. He mentions it in the video there that he may be posting it when there's something interesting going on. When will a VeeFriends Comic Strips Volume 1 book drop? I don't know. Sure, we'll do one. I don't have any dates, but it's been asked a lot. We'll get it going. I don't know. What would you rather? Let's talk about that for a second. Billy, would you rather see a giant thick book, or would you rather have small issues that come out that have maybe 2 months worth of comics in them with some extra stuff, like sketch stuff or interviews with the team, VeeFriends team, like a zine? What would you rather have? And then maybe there is a thick book later. Should we wait for the thick book, or should we start putting them out incrementally? What do you think? I'm curious what the readers would want. We don't want to have like buyer's fatigue on comics or whatnot. Appreciate everybody asking from like day one, when's the book? When's the... That's pretty rad. So I am curious to see like what you envision that to look like. One big thick one at the end of the year, or maybe like a quarterly thing. Nothing solid in stone, but I was talking to Eric, the creative director, and I think we just jammed for a second. We were like, because he knows about zines, and I'm like, oh, wouldn't a VeeFriends zine be cool? I'm about it. I like that idea. Ryan on TikTok says, DJ, are the birds in the background real, or am I hearing things? Yes, I have my window open. I've got an apple tree in the backyard, oak tree. So the birds are back. That's how I know that spring's coming. Yeah. So over on TikTok, you can probably hear the birds a lot better because the camera's kind of facing the window. But I don't know if you can hear the birds on the other streams. Probably hear this like background music playing. But the birds are like free. They're free. They're not going to charge me to use their background noise. Don't give them any ideas. Those birds. Morning, Andy, over on TikTok. Hope you guys are going to have an awesome day up in NYC. Got to get up there again real soon. Got to plan it. If I don't put it on the calendar, I just won't get moving. Got to plan my travel. It was fun to sit, amongst all the activity and stuff up there and draw and hang out. New York City's got a lot of good energy. Not what we see on the news. I saw something about National Guard like taking over the subways on the news this morning. I was like, oh no, turn off the news. I'm sure it's going to be all right. I'm sure everything's going to be okay. I'm going to redo this line here. Match. A little bit of that. Yeah, I don't have a bird soundtrack playing in the background. That's just my bird. That's just the outdoor southwestern Pennsylvania birds out there. Talk about that on the other stream, where for the most part the birds are pretty chill, but the grackles and the starlings are kind of jerks. And blue jays come around. I gotta feed the birds again this year. some point. We couldn't feed the birds here because there was some kind of bird disease going around. So the birds looked like the blue jays looked like zombies. It was bizarre. Yeah. Look at this. Yeah, Wes, I'm remote in the little comics cave here. I think it's probably a good thing for something like working on a comic, because I don't know if not that office life would be distracting, but there's a lot of stuff that you need to kind of go into deep work sometimes without talking to really kind of, move the needle along. Chris Bott Juggling says, I think monthly would be cool, and if all the covers at the end of the year would make a collage, that would be sweet. Monthly would be very interesting. Jack over on Twitch says he loves the art. My dude. Thanks. Appreciate that. Glad you dig it. Sometimes as artists, we kind of doubt ourselves. I know there's a lot of artists watching from the club too, and the stream said, hey guys, good morning. And I got to tell you, I don't really do it too much, but the self-doubt that artists can have. So that's the best thing that you can do out there, guys, to support artists that are on Twitter or any of the social media. Just comment and say a nice word about their art. Not just because, but if you see something that you like, don't just, like it and move on or whatever. Really stop and kind of just say something nice about it. Like, wow, I really like this, and why. It's going to make a difference for an artist, I think, or a creator of any kind, really. They're putting the stuff out for themselves, but also for you. So try to support artists. I just saw some pretty bad news from New York. There was a cartoonist that, decided to check out and jumped out of a hotel window last night or over a couple days ago or something, but terrible. I always say that, we talk a lot about that in our drawing club. It's kind of support group, kind of, but not really. Not really a support group, I'd say, but that in jobs where you have to use your imagination. So this goes for any creators, musicians, gosh, for sure, writers, that the imagination can work both ways. You can imagine all these fun things like VeeFriends, but you can also imagine the worst, and the worst isn't true. So, one day an artist might wake up thinking everybody hates my artwork, no one loves me, stuff like that. It sucks. So, we gotta help you look at artists and creators out there, influencers, a little bit differently. Some of them are begging for attention. I get it, but some people are really trying to put out art to help the world and be supportive. It doesn't always take money. Best way is just communicating and just knowing that their work is being seen and felt, I think. Writers too, it's probably hard for writers because we're in this world of quick. People don't want to stop and read a novel, So it's tough for writers to really break through on social media, I think. You might have blogs or you might follow some, but we got a lot of roads on this comic, a lot of exits. Question is, are you the artist for VeeFriends? I am the artist for VeeFriends. This is what I look like. I'm DJ. I'm having coffee here. My mug I bought this mug for myself. It says D plus J. Just a self-love mug carrying. Some of the VeeFriends behind me there. VeeFriends surrounding me. I am not the creator of VeeFriends. That would be Gary Vaynerchuk. Underneath this board, whoa, like look, I learned to do that yesterday. I can just do this, and then I've got VeeFriends underneath for like quick reference or whatever. It's pretty neat. I never done that before. Like, thought about maybe I put my reference here, and if I need to reference something really quick, I could just be like, oh, peek, and then look. Whoa, all right. It's pretty sweet. The initials on my hat. That's an interesting. I forgot. Sometimes I forget which hat I'm wearing, but these initials are for the Spirited Man channel. If you don't know what that is, it's really cool. It's the Casey Neistat's brother. You might know Casey Neistat, Van Neistat, which might be, I mean, no offense to Casey, but I think Van's my favorite Neistat brother. I've always been a huge fan of the Neistat brothers when they had an HBO show. I loved the HBO show, and I really dig that show. So that's the Spirited Man merch. You could be the next Stan Lee, dude. I don't think that I could be the next Stan Lee. Maybe Gary is like the current real Stan Lee of the universe, to be honest. But I'd be honored to be like the next, I won't even say it, but like I'm more of the Jack Kirby. Like, give me the ideas. I'll go to the workshop here and bust them out. Thanks. I appreciate you saying that. I used to have when I was younger, I always felt like, Stan Lee got all the credit for all the hard work that the artist did. And I used to have when I was young and angsty, or, there's a lot of stuff in the comic book community about how Jack Kirby was treated unfairly, and, his originals weren't given back to him, and people blamed Stan Lee, and I don't know. It's one of those things, very political in the comics world. But when you really start to work in comics and you see that, like, while Stan Lee really did do a lot for comics and bringing them to the forefront, we wouldn't have. Artists are just usually terrible at marketing, to be honest. So, Van Neistat, not Casey. Casey's Van's brother. Van's the older brother, I believe. Yeah, artists are normally really bad at marketing themselves. So I don't really feel like the artist alone could have done it, really brought comics to the forefront. Good morning, Sophie over on TikTok. How are you? 339 watching right now. That's pretty awesome. Last stream on Wednesday, we saw around 10:30 or so. About 700 people, over 700 people watching on the different platforms. That was, I think, a record at least for my stream. So I appreciate you hanging out and watching. I want that sound to be a little straighter. Right. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun working on these comics. This comic here is about, if you're just joining, this is about decision making. like choosing a path. There's all these paths and signs and people telling you to go this way and that way. And of course, we have to use decisive duck because it's about decisions, right? And then we'll have an intuitive iguana peeling in here. I can't wait to draw. That's I had that visual in my mind where I was like, like, get in, sucker. No, he's saying something else, but it's fun. Or TikTok, I was blocking your view there. So yeah, this is what I'm working on. I'll keep zooming out and resetting a little bit. If you're new to VeeFriends, welcome. This is VeeFriends. If you are familiar with VeeFriends, Epic Smasher over on YouTube, he says, yo, what's up, bro? I'm not hip with the young slang. I'll take it, man. Decisive duck and intuitive iguana. That's right. He may be saying something. I know what he's saying, but he's like, hey, just choose one and go. She still can't figure it out, so he's like, what's your gut tell you? And then they're off to the races. It's pretty fun. All right. Epic Smasher said I'm hip. So it's been said. It's been. I don't feel as old now. Thank you, Epic Smasher. By the way, smash that like button. Smash that subscribe. Smash. I forget what I was saying. Anyways, if you're new to VeeFriends, welcome. I'm drawing a lot of comics. They're daily. We also have a collectible card game. If you're familiar with VeeFriends, a lot of you are. I always ask you in the chat, please drop your favorite VeeFriend. If you've done it in the past, you don't have to, or you could just reiterate. Choose, tell the team who your favorite VeeFriend is and why. That's the most important thing. I don't want to just be like, Patient Panda, and then that's it, crickets. I want you to say like, Patient Panda because, like, why are you vibing with that character? And this helps us. So you're helping us by letting us know why the characters are important to you. Like Ryan Knowing Gnome. I know Ryan Turner over on TikTok right now. Maybe he's still hanging out. Maybe he's not. I don't know. He really loves the Knowing Gnome, but I don't really know why. If he's mentioned it on it, I don't really read everyone's all of the social posts, but it'd be interesting. I'm just always very interested to know why. Why? Lola says, yes, I speak Jav. What's the Steve Buscemi sketch? I love that. From Saturday Night Live, like, hello, fellow teenagers. Jack McMouse says, ambitious angel because it's good to be ambitious but grateful. Sneak peek for you. No one has seen this ever yet. Well, maybe Andy kind of knows, but and maybe Gary kind of knows, but none of you have seen this yet. Ambitious Angel will be in the next comic that I'm working on in the morning. It's the Winner's Circle. She's there. Real winners keep on moving. That's the next one. I'll be working on that a little bit today too. Not in this stream, but later on today. So, right. Ambitious Angel, definitely one of the most popular strips that we put out. Joe Animal says she loves the VeeFriends down the road. Yeah, I wanted to try something different. You'll see why too in the future, but I don't know. We'll see if it's going to work out. I don't know if I'll be able to get there. The S is way down there, but we'll get there. The road just keeps going. Yeah. Amiable Anchovy is my favorite. He's just so nice. So would you say, James, um, amiable, like you just like to be around amiable people? Of course, no one likes to be around jerks, or you think that's a good trait? Amiable anchovy, I think Allison Wu on our team, I think she just posted that as her favorite on the Instagram stories. She did a day in the life of one of the VeeFriends employees that's really good. I wish I could document mine. I mean, my life isn't as interesting, probably. It's like, I woke up, I got some coffee, and it's almost gone, and I got to draw on some comics. There, that's my day. Pretty exciting. Reading the chat. I'm just really curious because I don't get to talk to the community directly as much, but Resilient Red Devil, Logical Lion, Gritty Ghost, Competitive Clown. Can you say why? That's kind of what, like, I just want to break down as to, like, it helps me understand how the community or the fans of VeeFriends are reflecting on the characters. Let's see what else. I love Crazy Bunny, Bad Intentions. He's adorable, but can be used in so many ways. Definitely have him planned for something. Yes, do it. Just do it. It's epic. Just here to see it. Oh, that's very nice, Jack. Jack says he's printed off the artwork and put it inside his apartment. That's how much I like it. I appreciate that. We got some cool stuff coming soon too. Make it a little easier to read the comics and all the order and stuff like that. I think I could say that. It's not like huge news, but we're working behind the scenes on. I'm saying we're. I mean, I guess it is we. Like, I feel like I'm not doing much except for drawing the comics, but you know, there's an archive that's coming, and it'll be nice. I'm gonna say that I can say that. It's gonna be an easy way for you to navigate the comics and the characters, and it's really good. I'm excited for that because I've had a lot of people ask me, like, where's the best place to read? Where is the best place to read the comics? And it's kind of like, you know, the social channels that we put them on, it's kind of hard to navigate. The best place of all those social channels, which is not actually the best place, is like the Facebook page. If you go to the photo section, it's all there, like pretty much in order, all the panels, but still not the most ideal way to read the comics. I could noodle with this for quite a long time, but I do kind of want to just focus on the roads. Sometimes when there's so much going on, you just have to focus. Well, I got to decide, just like this comic is about. There's a lot to draw here. Sometimes you just got to pick and decide, okay, I'm going to do all the road paths right now. So we got this road over here going over that road. You know, I want to have like some crazy roads back there. And it's looping around. That's kind of going back over that road. That's fun. It's so small. But then this road I want to have going off kind of into the sunset. Maybe we'll give that a little bit more room on that side. A little bit more room than that. Let's go like, because I want to have room for that S. This road will turn off this way. How about a podcast so I can listen at work? What would you, Ken, over on TikTok. You mean a podcast for the comics? Or just like an audio version of me yammering? The collectible, what we call, I don't even know what to call it. They're not the collectible cards team, but Adam Rips and Connor and all the guys from the Fanatics live streams, they're working on a podcast. I think they put out one episode live just to test, but there's some stuff. I think we're gonna have more of a, talking about VeeFriends kind of show. But I don't know when it's going to come out, but it should be soon. I think they kind of had a calendar up about that at some point. So within the next few weeks, probably. I don't know how exciting it would be to have a podcast of me just talking about, here I am drawing this thing that you can't see. I don't know what these signs are going to say yet, but it's going to be, a mix of like, wrong way, go this way, turn around. There are no wrong paths, like the one fella said. What else we got here in the chat? Go back a little bit. Question for me was, who is my favorite comic character and why? So I answer this a lot, and it might change day to day. Character, comic book character. Let me think on that one for a second. Joe Animal says, I would want my son, who's at SCAD, say to you, he wants to do a comic book to intern or shadow you next summer, even if it's just for a day. Possibly, maybe. Let's think about it. Lola is new to VeeFriends, but she loves the burrito phone. Let's just show it real quick. I'm just hanging out. I gotta work on comics, but I just like hanging out with everybody. We're having comics. We're showing comics. Having some coffee. This was the intervention strip, so we had the friends intervening and saying you're addicted to your phone. You're constantly checking your messages. And then he's like, I'm fine. I'm just staying alert. I can walk away from this at any time. And he's holding a burrito. He said, that's not a phone. It's a burrito. And he's like, that explains why I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. He's texting customer support on the burrito. So burrito phone has become one of those silly little jokes that I'm proud of. So I hope, there's a little trick to that when I'm devising comics, is that the next time you see a burrito, I want you to think about making a phone call on it. So when you go to Chipotle, I want you to think about VeeFriends and Smart Alert Ape. Hot Tomboy says, the characters make me feel seen. That's awesome. Reminds me of my childhood. I'm a competitive person by nature. My grit has always allowed me to be persistent and resilient. Okay. So gritty ghost, resilient red devil, competitive clown. Compete and collect. Adam Rips, Connor Muldoon, they're all rocking it on those streams. I listen to those streams when the Fanatics live streams when I'm working. John Jacob on Facebook. Watching me creates fun. Thank you. So continuing on my journey of, I think I've I've got most of the roads done. There's a road that's kind of twisting back here. Let's do that up. And then the sides too, just the shapes of the sign. Curve the edge, make a nice straight line there. Yeah, people ask how long. Another question I get is like, how long do the strips take me? Oh, by the way, I'm still thinking about my favorite comic character. Sorry. Let me answer that real quick. You know, looking around. So comic book world, I liked Mr. Miracle, Jack Kirby, Mr. Miracle. His real name was Scott Free, and it was kind of a weird comic, but the new part of the New Gods comics. I liked Mr. Miracle. He was an escape artist, but also a new god. What else is on my shelf back here? Oh, one of my favorite comic strip of all time was Jack Kirby's Sky Masters of the Space Force. No one would know what that is. And cartoon strip wise, I was always more of a Berkeley Breed fan. Bloom County. I'm a Bloom County boy. Outland. Somebody told me the other day that my work reminded them of some Bloom County stuff, and I was just like, man, that's like the highest compliment for me. I really appreciate that. Like I said earlier in the week, on Sunday I went to visit that cartoon and art museum in Columbus, Ohio, called the Billy Ireland Museum, and got to see all the original artwork from Calvin and Hobbes and Snoopy and Terry and the Pirates, all these comics masters. And it did kind of give me imposter syndrome, where I was like, oh my God, these guys are so masterful. But, you know, I'm very inspired by those guys, and it just made me want to come back and work on these comics even, you know, put a little bit more in, let's say. And I've probably spent more hours on the Sundays this week than I probably, not that I should have, but more than I have had before. So I was kind of given a little bit more time to work on the Sunday type bigger versions like this. And I'm a big believer in the Parkinson's law that time expands to allow whatever your plans are. So I'm supposed to get like 4 or 5 done, and I think 2 are completely finished. We got this one is number 3, and then there's a 4 that's there. So I almost made it to the end of the day Friday. It's not the end of the day yet, but by the end of the weekend they'll all be done. You know, that's all that matters. Everything gets done in time, sooner or later, right? Lola said always loved Opus from Bloom County. Yeah. Epic Smasher says, look at me, I'm already amongst them. Boy, you know, that's nice to think about, but I don't ever really believe it. You know, don't get high on your own supply, sort of vibe. I appreciate the kind words, but I don't let it go to my head. You know, it's like Gary or others say, you know, you gotta not listen to the cheers or the jeers. But I mean, I don't think it's like not listening to it. I appreciate it. I accept it and hear it. But if someone were to say like, your artwork sucks, it might sting a little bit. It might make me think like, why do they think that? What am I doing? But I'm always gonna take it as, what can I do better? Or am I doing something that I could do better? Like maybe they're right. Maybe I can't draw this red light right now off my memory. You know, but I bet you I can. Bet you I can draw this red light. Little shield over that. I guess it's going to be hanging from that pole there. Let's blacken that in. That's great. Trucking along here. That sign is kind of done, but we're going to go ahead and just put the arrows on these signs. And I want to move on to maybe inking a little bit of the bottom panel, just because it's cool. So yeah, anyways, I keep jumping around a little bit if you're listening, but people ask me how long it takes me. I think I was averaging about 10 hours on the Sunday comics. Sometimes they would be 12 if there was a lot of characters going on in there. And I don't even want to look at how much time that I've spent on the ones that I've worked on this week. I think it's quite a bit more, but worth it. But the roughs here, I wrote it down. When I did the roughs and the writing for this strip, it took me 2 hours and 7 minutes. So, and that was also not talking. So if I go to Canvas information right now and I go to statistics, I'm at 3 hours, 16 minutes, which tracks because we've been live for about an hour. I've been inking for about an hour. And yeah, the more there is to ink, the longer it takes. It's just kind of how it goes. A typical 4-panel strip, if you're going to see back on Monday, will take 4 to 5 hours. This is the job. Some people are like, wow, that's crazy, bro. Like, but it's not crazy at all. It's part of the gig. These signs have to be kind of connected to each other. It's hard not to draw even more signs, like really, really fill this up, but that's enough to get the point across, I think. Okay. I'll also figure out like the spotting of blacks. That's what we call it. Like, I think underneath this section here, you go just fill in some black areas. Really kind of helps pull your eye to the background. The backgrounds really aren't that important, just so that you remember as a reader or like a viewer that, wow, there's a lot of twisting roads back there. Then I've done my job as a cartoonist to kind of get that point across. All right, so we want some black right in this part to kind of pull the words VeeFriends are going to pull you, but the black is also going to pull you to the center. So I need a little bit of more spotting of blacks here. Just a little composition trick. That's what you're going to get on these streams. I'm going to talk about, all kinds of stuff. Like right now, we're talking about career choices or paths in life, right? That's what this strip is about. It's interesting because my wife, she's in a transition period, I guess, with the jobs. She's been looking for a job. She's been strung along, man. I hate it. Like, she's been through so many jobs. She's a great operator. and she's a great project manager. Keeps my side. She helps me run the Draw or Die Club, and like she really does a great job for me. And I couldn't do it without her. Hats off to her. But she's been struggling to find a new job, and it's depressing. But now she's kind of got over it. But like these companies will kind of like say like a million interviews that take weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's exhausting. But she said to me that I didn't ever really have to experience that as far as like the interview process and going through and job hunting. I mean, I spent 10 years. I spent 13 years drawing comics. You know, and then I spent 10 years of my career life at Spread Shop, working on print on demand merch for creators. And now I'm back to getting a full-time job drawing comics again, which is what I'm best at. But I have a lot of empathy seeing the situation of, and it's so frustrating to me that like these companies have these processes that drag on and on and on and just waste everyone's time. It wastes their time. It wastes the potential employees' time. I don't like it. I don't like that system. No, not that way. Okay. I like that. Over on the little pothead over on TikTok said, one of these signs needs to say no, not that way. I'm gonna lock that in the rough. So congratulations. It might even be funny if it's just like the one. No, not that way. And I'll use a font for these that looks more like a sign. There you go. No, not that way. And it's like, which way? I don't know. You know. Yeah, so if you're out there looking for a job or whatever, I have a lot of, or if you're in a job where you don't like it and you're like sitting around going like, man, I wish, like I was there too. In 2022, the end of 2022, actually earlier than that, I was really sick of, probably 7 years into working at that company I was about to leave, and I just couldn't. I was comfortable, and the same old thing, people say the same thing. I had a good salary. I had to put up with a lot of stress, but then honestly, there was people that died from like strokes, things like that I'm like, man, I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to have this unneeded stress in my life. But it still felt impossible to be like, there's not going to be anything out there for me, and then I just decided, partly because of going to, conventions like Vid Summit and hanging out with my creator friends. And I was like, you know what? It is possible. It's possible to find something else and to lean into your passions. Listen, I read Gary's book Crush It when it first came out, and it was like a Bible as far as like, what are you passionate about? I talk a lot about it to my art friends. It's like finding your pillars, like finding what do you like to do? Because there's people out there that can start, Gary did it with Wine TV when he was one of the first YouTubers. And but there could have been a coffee morning or a tea morning. Like you can literally become the thought leader on anything that you're passionate about, or one of the thought leaders. By the way, there's a contrast here. There's a city on this side, and then there's like the woods and like more nature on this side of the road. Just a little bit of inside thinking there on the strip. Choices. I never thought that I'd want to move to the big city or anything like that, or could afford it or anything. But we're thinking about once my stepkids are out of high school, we need to make a little bit more money to afford the city, I think. But Pittsburgh and living out here, you kind of have the best of both worlds. I could be anywhere I need to be fairly shortly. It's cheap to live here. I think our house in southwestern Pennsylvania, this house was probably like 168,000. Think about that. I just saw an apartment in New York City was like $500,000 or something like crazy. Lived in Southern California for a while. That was also very expensive. So in the world these days, you could live pretty decent remotely and still do all the work. So that's kind of what I'm super fortunate to be able to do that. But there's also a part of me that really enjoyed working in the office with the team. And I love New York. So you never know, You never know what the future holds. I have to talk to my New York friends, talk to Gary and be like, hey, how much money do I need to make to live here? I'm too old to live on ramen, and I want to live comfortably. And I'm too old to be on that struggle bus. I paid my dues, so I'm not going to move to New York to Osborne. But otherwise, we might just move closer to Pittsburgh. I'm about half an hour, 40 minutes out of the main city, and my wife and I just want to be a little closer. We always find ourselves in the city doing something, usually when the weather's nice. So, choices, Do we go we've thought about it. Like, you might be in your 20s or 30s even, and like all your friends are having kids or buying houses, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, I think I need to do this. Don't feel pressure because of what the rest of the world is doing. I have friends that don't want to have kids, and it's completely fine. But society, or the societal pressures around you, is like, you got to have a career, and you should have this by now, and you should have that by now, and all that. Man, that's BS. Everybody's kind of figuring it out as they're going. That's the secret. That's the secret. Put a little drop shadow underneath the car there. Let's draw this car. I want to draw that car. Al over on TikTok says, peace. Pittsburgh is dope, just not in the wintertime. That's right. Pittsburgh kind of sucks in the winter, which is why we just hibernate. We just hide. Everybody hides for the whole winter. All right, I kind of want this to be like I want it to look like that car kind of from the meme, but I also kind of want it to be like a rad looking car that Intuitive would want us driving. Kind of a mixture of an old Dodge Dart. Kind of souped up a bit. Yeah, people are really pressured into making decisions sometimes, rushed. And you're not happy. You went to college for something. I hear it all the time. Went to college for this and then realized, like, I don't like this. Then you just stay stuck because you think, well, I spent so much time doing this. I guess this is my life now, but it's not. You can start over. Starting over is kind of scary, or starting anything is kind of scary, but also kind of exciting once you start. Once you start starting, it gets a little exciting. So, in my experience. I didn't even want to put myself out there. Like, I didn't want to have my face or my voice. It's very like the same typical things I hear from young creators when I'd work with creators. They would have those self-doubts and things. You just gotta kind of silence that and just go. Nobody cares. Somebody's gonna make fun of you or something. It's not. Who cares? You might have family members that are like, they think your idea is ridiculous. Who cares? Just do it anyways. Start a business. Figure it out. Try it. If it fails, oh well. Move on. Don't, hurt yourself or hurt anyone around you financially or anything like that. It's totally possible to achieve and try. I might need to pencil in the iguana a little bit here. Let's see. Didn't fill up an extra thermos of coffee, so I'm pretty low on my coffee right now. That makes me sad. And I'm not going to pause and run downstairs and get coffee, I don't think. Maybe I will. Maybe there are no rules. Do that. Fill those blacks in a little bit. He's gonna have some old school, showing them bolts. Tire. Let's put 5 bolts on there because we like the number 5 around VeeFriends. Good morning, Deacon, over on X. Miami Mike, good morning. Hope you're doing well. $450 watching right now. That's great. Thanks, guys. Many of you I know say that they're working. Let me know what you're up to. Like, when do you watch the streams? Some people are actually like, I'm working, or they're in a meeting and they have the sound off and they're just like watching me draw. So I try to keep it moving here. And again, like, I'm thinking about those spotting the blacks is what we call it. And I kind of want your eye to go to the front of the car. So I'm gonna drag some black there. I kind of want your eye to go that way. I kind of want your eye to do exactly what this is happening. Like vroom around. Good there. shape on the shrimp. This black space here will help guide the eye to the iguana, and I don't know what the iguana is going to. Doesn't have to be as detailed as he is in this next panel right here, but I do kind of want him hanging out the window here. I'm going to pop a new layer on and just get it penciled a little bit. Make sure red's on. Just to kind of, so you can see I already have the shape of that elbow. It's maybe the most important thing. Just want to define it. If I try to ink it direct, I might not nail it. And then he's got kind of a round head, so that tail right there. That shape on the side of iguanas. The rest of it could also be a little bit black. And then I'd actually darken that in too. He's looking over. This will be so small. But I just want to get the basic shapes of the silhouette in there. That's what I'm really looking for. For this one, oh, it's a little dinosaur in there. The steering wheel in there. Not really too worried about. Passenger seat's a little bit important, so let's put the shape in there. Kind of draw through what's in the back. Cool. All right. Just had to flesh that out a little bit, fade it a little bit. Now I feel a little more comfortable inking that there. If you're new to VeeFriends, I'm drawing the comic strip for VeeFriends. We also have Compete and Collect card game, Fanatics live streams. Check the VeeFriends socials for schedules on all the upcoming streams. I'm drawing in the mornings right now. If you're enjoying the more morning stream, let me know in the chat, please. Should I do it in the afternoon? Should I stick with the mornings? What's yours say? You vote. Morning stream. Afternoon. Would you like a nighttime stream? But is this morning spot working for you? There's 473 people watching. So we're definitely getting more live watchers here on the morning streams, which is really awesome. Really appreciate you watching and hanging out, keeping me company for a couple hours. Again, we got some speed lines coming off the top of the vehicle, kind of. Right, classic cartooning there. Maybe I'm not seeing all the Twitter. Maybe I'm gonna go over to Twitter real quick just to see if there's any. I'm not seeing the comments from Twitter. X. Let's see what's going on here. Hey, friends. Just curious. Tell us, should I stay with the morning drawing streams? Afternoon? What would you like to see? Click into here and see if it's actually any comments in the chat of the broadcast. or at me on X at DJ Coffman or at us. I don't really know how the comments come into the thing that we're using here, Restream. Great. The rest of that can be done in the just some more black on the front of this bumper. So again, now the eye will pull you around. Let's get back to this. Austin says he likes the morning streams because I like to wake up, get coffee, and then watch the stream. It's good to know. So technically, I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday, drawing something usually. We don't have meetings very early in the morning. So it's a good time. And if I can nail this down, in the future, it might be streaming even more. Like you could just always know, like on these days, or pop in, check out what's going on the VeeFriends world. Mornings and evenings are good. Lola, thank you. Nighttime's a little tricky because I'm either doing stuff for my own brand or I might be running out of energy at night. Got a lot more energy to talk and think about things. Morning. My brain's a little fresher. Task switching is a real thing in your life. So if you're switching from like meetings to doing something creative to like, now it's time to be creative. Now it's time to talk about some stuff. Now it's time to be creative. Now it's time. By the end of the day, you can really be, oof, That's the great book behind me. I don't know if you can see it or not. TikTok can't see it, but it's right there. Deep Work by Cal Newport is a great book. Cheers, it's Comics and Coffee. Welcome. I am drawing some VeeFriends Comics here. TikTok can only see my hands. Sorry. Actually, I see a lot of people from TikTok jumping over to the other stream. That's cool. This is VeeFriends, if you're not familiar. The universe of characters created and originally drawn by Gary Vee, who you might know from the internet. You might know him from Wine Library TV or a million other things in your feed. He's kind of omnipresent everywhere. Gary Vee. But this is his universe of characters, and it's all the characters have different traits. So there's 280 characters, and there's like, this is intuitive iguana. So it's about like trusting your gut, your intuition. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second because I got some thoughts on intuition. It's like a sixth sense, right? It's decisive duck in this strip. There's common sense cow. There's patient panda here. Patient panda, patience, right? My son's in the chat, Dylan. Enjoy that coffee for you. Yes, sir. It's the Rainforest Crunch, Dylan. He just had his wisdom teeth out yesterday, so everybody wish him some healing so he can have some coffee. Hope you took a day off or something, kid. Take care of yourself. See you real soon. It's not haircut weekend yet. Could be. Any weekend could be haircut weekend, but I gotta draw some stuff. Cool. You know, we can get rid of. I get some more black in there underneath the car, like that. Good, good. Be fun to just go. Oh. The animators can have fun with that. Just zoom, and it's like, hey, get in, sucker. No, he's saying intuition, intuitive iguana. And again, this is one of those places where I'm going to want to draw the sound effect. You know? Yeah, man. Dental stuff is no fun. Mouths. You know, what are you going to do? Mouths. Got to take care of it. So it's worth it. It's worth it. That's all you got to keep telling yourself. Yeah, intuition. I feel like, have you ever made a decision that you felt like was the wrong decision in your gut? And you were like, man, I knew it. It happened exactly how you turned out. Or maybe there was a decision that's like, this is to every other person in the room. You're like, why are you doing that thing? And then just because your gut felt it. Like, I think we should do this. Maybe I shouldn't go that way today. There's something about it that's seems like a magic power, but I think it's more like subconsciously you have a lot of data in your mind. It's helping you make a deeper decision that even on the surface you don't understand why you're making it, because it feels just like a feeling. And then you think about it later and you're like, of course. I was thinking that because of this. That's intuition. So if you're having problems deciding something, 2 tricks that I have are roll some dice or flip a coin. I always have some really hefty coins here. It's got some weight to it, but just flip a coin. And the trick is that when you flip the coin, if when you get like, so if it's like heads, all right, so let's just do one right now. Like heads or tails, like this is heads. And we'll call this tails. This will be heads. Heads or tails, am I going to move on to the next panel or finish this panel? Heads, I'm going to finish this panel. Tails, I'm going to move on to the iguana's face here. I'm just going to flip it. It's heads. I'm going to finish this panel. But actually, when you flip something and you're like, damn, that's not what I really wanted it to be, the other thing. You can stick to your guns and just, okay, muscle it out. So I'd finish this panel, right? I think. Or I could trust my gut, because my gut's saying like the roll that I made, the flip that I made wasn't really what my inner self wanted to do. My inner self wants to move on to ink that iguana's face over there. Right. So that's one way of making a quick intuitive decision. So I actually want to ink this. I'm gonna right now. Intuitive iguana, let's go. What's the iguana saying here? You can guess that up in the chat if you're listening. Some people have their sound off. I'm getting it. Because you're working, quote unquote. Appreciate you spending some time watching. There's 497 people watching right now. Mostly on X, it seems. Thanks, guys. It's pretty awesome. It seems like X is where the majority of the VeeFriends community is. It also makes sense because entrepreneurs, a lot of people that are following Gary, X seems to be their, their go-to platform. I was kind of off of it for a long time until getting this job, and then I realized, well, that's where the community's at, so I gotta start posting there more and kind of checking the messages there more. Really, that's all I do. I also check UFO Twitter or UFO X at night. I haven't done that in a while either. I'm slacking on the UFO news. Dylan, is there any new UFO news out there? Have the aliens arrived? Just want to check something real quick. Let's see if he has. He doesn't have any bottom teeth. Dylan? It's you. No, Dylan's got bottom teeth. Dylan had his wisdom teeth out today. Or yesterday. Sorry. Alright, we're up to 506. That's great. My theory is in the morning we get the East Coast people join in. Some actually, we've got some EU people too. Ireland, the UK. This is worldwide. So thanks for watching wherever you are in the world. But the theory is like as we inch closer to noon, of course, the rest of the time zones are waking up, turning on the internet, and they're just like, I don't want to go to work today. I think I'm going to watch this guy draw some iguanas. And then that's why we're here. We're here for you. And iguana's telling you, like, make a plan. It's time. It's time for you to do whatever you're supposed to do. Go find a new job. Be happy. Maybe if you're in a job and you're not happy, there's also the opportunity of resetting yourself and resetting your expectations at work. I had to do that once. In 2018, I had to really reset my expectations for the day job I was in. I was stressed out. Felt like I was constantly in some sort of conflict with another team. It was a creative team, actually, which was funny. I never really followed the brand guidelines, and I used to mess with them on purpose a little bit, to be honest. Like, they hated the color purple. The designers were like, we are never using purple. Purple is an awful design color. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I would slip purple in there, not to mess with them, but I was like, I like purple. And now, what's really awesome is I'm with VeeFriends and Gary's really into purple. Like, that's his new, how do we get to purple, the middle, not too red, not too blue, just right in the middle, right? We're not talking just politics, we're talking everything. Don't be too intuitive. Don't be too patient. Just be just right, Goldilocks. I like that. Lola said what other people have said too, watching while getting ready for the day job. I think it's a good, you know, um, I don't want to work today. I'm sorry. Sorry, Swift. Just don't work. No, gotta go do your best. TikTok here, though. We need more VeeFriends on here. All the VeeFriends are over on X right now, Wagney. Like, yeah, I can hover over this and see. We got 498 over on the X watching. It almost makes me want to like not broadcast on X and force them to come to Twitch and TikTok. We do the TikToks only on Mondays, so there will be a little bit more action over on TikTok. We have 2.6K likes over on TikTok. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys dropping some likes on the way out, on your way to work or coffee or whatever you're doing. Appreciate that. But yeah, I was in a job where I had to reset my expectations of myself and others, my team. Felt like I worked really hard and I felt like the team was slacking off. And then I realized, like, you know what? I'm going to stick to my goals and what I can control. And I'm going to rock out my stuff, my goals and things, and I'll help team members, but I'm not going to do their work for them. And if they fail, unfortunately, it hurts the company too. But I'm talking about an old job, not VeeFriends. I'm talking about old job. Yeah, so it's hard sometimes to let go and just let team members, or even when you're raising kids, you can't constantly step in and do everything for them. You have to kind of let them make mistakes and, figure it out. Let them fail a little bit. But then be there for them when they're really needed. The team members needing you and asking for help, and team member, family member, friend, you always want to be there, be ready to help. But find a way to like let people fly or fall. That's something that I had to learn to do in the corporate world. So if you're navigating things like that, just take a deep breath, reset yourself. If you've got a dream or something that you want to be doing, work on it a little bit at a time. Don't not work on it. The more you don't work on it, the more you won't work on it. So make sure you're doing a little bit, even if it's just a little bit every day. All purple all the time, Lola. Great. And then gotta lose the training wheels sometimes. That's right, I'm slouching. I'm like really slouching down here. Better not do that. Keep my posture up. I have a standing desk, but I find it kind of hard to stand while I draw. I just can't. I kind of want the door to be the frame of this panel. That makes sense. Yeah. That's kind of what's happening. So now your eyes should go from like vroom to the car. It's intuitive iguana. Urch will be the sound of the car braking. You'll see the lady and the duck going like, whoa. And then that's the last thing you see in this panel. It's going to pull you right into the next panel. You're probably naturally going to go there anyways, but try to use shapes and the negative space to really pull you into the next panel. It makes it more satisfying when you see you can kind of zoom out there and see what's going on. This is iPad only. I need to put a little bit more black up in the. I'm going to work on that panel a little bit more. This one's going to be a little bit more work because I got to draw her as a chef, a scientist, an artist, a musician. You know. And by the way, the car's like kind of on its way. Oh, and I wanted to have the car somewhere on one of these roads. I think like right here is a good. So let's just go back to that one layer that I had. Bump that up. Switch the red. Perfect. Let's go to that rough pencil. And then I'm going to have it like getting airborne right here. That's fun. You can't really, it'll be so back there. But like it's on its way. I like that. All I gotta do is just draw the little headlights, the wheels. The shape of the back. It's mostly going to be like a small little silhouette. So like the little details like that are just great storytelling things. Like, man, I didn't even notice that before, but the car's like, it's on its way. Foreshadowing. There. I like that. Hey, for the couple people watching over on TikTok, thanks for joining. Pop in and out. A lot of people on TikTok just kind of pop in and pop out. So Saul, I see you just joined the stream over there. Check it out. Thank you for checking out. VeeFriends. Appreciate that. Lots of comics to read. They've got the collectible card game. You know, check out. Just go to eBay and look up VeeFriends. See how much is going on out there in the collectibles space too. You know, there's quite a. I'm not saying people are making a living doing that. I'm just saying like it's definitely a collected space. UKista over on TikTok. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching, peeking in here. This is Comics and Coffee. I'm drawing some comics for VeeFriends. It's so small. This car is so small. It's not even that. I'm like drawing in pixels right now. I'm zoomed in so much. What was that? Just a couple lines. That's so small, but it's back there. So it's one of those little details. Back and back. We got the city on this side. We got the woods, country over on this side. And the roads in the middle. This is kind of nice. Good composition there. I'm pretty happy with that. But this is usually what I'll do. Jump around a little for the big pages like this, kind of just pick something interesting to do. And, yeah. JR73 Bobo, Junior 73 Bobo just joined the TikTok. Hello. That's what the whole strip's looking like. It's getting there. You know? Might need to pencil in a little bit of that. I can probably freehand the duck. It's like basically what I'm doing with the pencils. Sometimes it's just a little bit of lacking confidence in the line. Tammy's watching over on TikTok. Hi, Tammy. I might check my other visual reference screen here. It's because I kind of want to get little pieces of the duck correct. Duck's kind of sitting up on this vehicle. This little butt. Artists make the mistake of trying to like draw the entire anatomy of things, and like really it's shapes. So we've got him sitting on top of a car, and then his feet are little tiny bird feet, so we can only see one of them there. Maybe even a little smaller than that. Wow. There we go. And then a shadow on top of the car to add some depth. That's how we do it. And for any artists out there that might be watching, I also do live streams over on my YouTube channel. If you search for, I'm going to show you real quick. Let's find it. The next drawing stream for us will be 8:30 a.m. For VeeFriends will be 8:30 a.m. over on TikTok only, and then we'll probably be back Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays for the same time spot. I'm still here for a little bit drawing, so don't worry. And then tonight, I've been doing these live streams on my personal channel. It's for the Daily Drawing Club. It's just a club for like drawing and having fun, hanging out. Last night I did a little tour of the office, impromptu, and then I have a members only stream that comes out on Saturday for the members over there. So that's a little bit of what we're doing. If you didn't see, I got to see. I like to show these just because people find it interesting. But I got to go see original art from Charles Schultz. Got to see some Gordo stuff. I just love the animals. Like, look at how he draws bees. That's so great to look at. So good. Like that's just what I was talking about. Like that bee flying into that tree. It's just a few lines. So I'm always studying. Like, look at that little bee. It's wonderful. I love it. The mistakes on the like, I don't know, it looks like he dripped coffee or something on his board and then try to mask it up with some whiteout. Some Calvin and Hobbes. You can even see the pencil lines from the original Calvin and Hobbes. Super cool. Super cool to go see that stuff. Really kind of keeping that stuff nearby really kind of energizes me as an artist. I am going to change the girl a little bit, so she's supposed to look like a little more like this, and like this. So she's going to be a little bit more that character. So I'm going to change that up before you see the final comic. And then let's just work on this Sideways VeeFriends. There's going to be a lot more going on this page, but I kind of want to work on some of the interesting parts here. Inks. And for this, I want to cut it even closer into panel. And I'll make it black on the inks, but it'll actually be like probably the texture of the road. That makes sense. Really fun. In comic books, we've got, Will Eisner. The Eisner Awards are named after him over in comic book land. And what he's known for is the Spirit comic. And when he did look, I got one right here. I'll show you. Let's go in this view. The Spirit. So when he would title his title graphics, this was a 7-page stories in a newspaper that Will Eisner used to do. But he's very well known for at the beginning of the comics themselves, the intro page always had something interesting with the title of the comic in it. So, and it's always 7-page stories because it was in a newspaper. So out like that, and then see, like, the splash page always had, and it got more and more interesting as the comic went on. Like, there you go, this person holding the spirit. There's a haunted house there of some kind or something, right? That's a Halloween version. I didn't even know that. I just assumed it was a haunted house. So he did such a good job. Cartoonist there. This was like another one. So, like, I take some. It's one of my favorite things is how they did that. They would feature the title of the comic inside of the comic somehow. So I've been doing that, thinking about that a lot. I want to just play with that, with these kind of things. I can't say never, but I feel like I'm not as good as, Will Eisner, of course. Like, he was a master at that, but it's totally inspiring to play with, and it's fun. Super fun to do. So we're going to go ahead and draw this a little bit more. And I should have I'm going to have a break coming up. Let me check my messages as well. Nothing happening. That's good. All right. It's a quiet day. Thanks for watching. This is VeeFriends Comics and Coffee. Me drawing comics, talking to you about different things in the stream. We're live on all VeeFriends channels right now. Not a whole lot of love over on TikTok. Everybody's on X. big VeeFriends communities. So thanks for watching wherever you are. Andy K's over in the chat, over in X. He's on X too. He was everywhere though. He was earlier. He was over on. He said hi over on TikTok. Learning lots just by chance. That's great. Yeah, it's nice to have my bookshelves right over on the behind me. So if I'm talking about Will Eisner and no one knows who that is, I can just grab it and show you exactly what I'm thinking. So, oh, wait, that's not a P. What am I doing? It's the R. I lost track of the letter I was working on. All right. I definitely want that to be more open. Learning a lot just by watching. That's how we learn. You know, I learned how to draw by tracing Garfield in the newspaper. So nothing wrong. It's the right way to kind of observe what's going on. I'm learning from comics all the time, just like I showed, like Will Eisner and Spirit Books. I think about those guys, and you know, kind of running out of. I want it to be legible, so I'm just going to expand it down that road. The friends. 567 watching. Appreciate you guys. Lots of the VeeFriends community chilling out. Seems like the consensus is that a lot of people are working. We're getting ready for work. It's kind of what we thought when I thought about these morning streams. So hopefully you start your day with some VeeFriends. And, you know, working on something for yourself maybe before you go to work. Going to the gym, working on your body, your health. For me, it's art. You know, I get up in the morning and I do a sketch, a little random sketch or exercise. Yeah, that looks pretty rad. That won't be black. That will be like part of the pavement, you know. I like that. That worked out good. It's great. Okay, everyone. That's the last sip of coffee down in there. We've been live for 2 hours. Appreciate you watching. Maybe that's the limit. Like when I'm out of coffee, the stream is over. Work out some more of those black areas here. Kind of pull that. When I'm talking about pulling it too, I'm talking about like pulling your eye across the page. Rockin' Bull says every day he's working on building more code for the AI game and book systems he's working on. The future's bright. That's awesome. Good morning, Chef. What's that over on YouTube? Swish Dreams just joined over on TikTok. Popped in. It's great. Thanks for watching, guys. Recap this thing I'm working on. It's crazy. There's a lot. Kind of went nuts again. All the comics I've worked on this week have something insane. If you saw Wednesday's stream, you know what I'm talking about. All the trophies. This one's got a lot of cars and a lot of action. It's fun. Intuitive Iguana, kind of rolling up. Did you know he can drive? Well, now you do. And you'll see these comics. You'll see the finished comic in a couple weeks. And actually, if you just joined, sorry, I'm going to end the stream. Got to head off to another meeting, and then I'll be back Monday on TikTok, 8:30 a.m. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys supporting the comic, sharing the comic. Comic comes back daily on Monday. VeeFriends. Thanks so much for watching. I am out. Going to go fill up my coffee and then run off to another meeting. We'll see you guys real soon. Be kind. Enjoy your weekend. Work hard.